Hello, this is Aaron Maller from Parallax team, and this is just a quick video to go over the Dynamo graph that we talked about that will add prefixes or suffixes or do find and replace on sheet numbers in your project. Just for this demo, I'm in what we call our sample file, and I'm going to scroll all the way down so that we're looking at basically sheet numbers in the project browser. And in Dynamo, I've already opened up the graph that we're going to send you. The quick explanation of how the graph works is first it's going to collect all of the sheets in the model, and then it's going to search for what you've put in to the search one field, which is an input at the beginning of the graph. If you leave it blank, it will simply apply to all sheets in the model, but if you were, as an example, to type in A7 period, it would then only apply to sheets that start with A7 period. You'll see that what it does is it takes what you've input into search one and it looks for that inside the sheet number and then filters out all of the other sheets. Then it's going to get the sheet numbers again and it's going to combine the sheet numbers, which are input B, with a prefix that is input A and a suffix that is input C. You'll see those over here. You can simply add in the prefix that you want or the suffix that you want, and it will do that in the sheet numbers. To show you a sample of this, we will tell it we only want to affect the sheets that start with A7 period, and we want to put a 1 period for building 1. Then, if we were to run this graph, you would see that previously we had done it for all of the sheets, and so all 254 sheets got the prefix. If we click Run right now, you'll see it will only do it for the sheets that are starting with A7, and it will add in the 1 period to the front of the graph. If we were to change it again to run only on the A2s, you'll see that now when you hit run, it will run only on the A2s. And again, if you were to completely remove everything from search one and put in a prefix like X, you'll see that now all 254 sheets in the set will get the X. One important thing to note is that because this graph does edit the sheet numbers right away, when we send the graph, this node is frozen. If you want to actually change the sheet numbers, if you want it to actually run in your project, you want to right-click and unfreeze the node so that it's not frozen. This is because we want to make sure that somebody doesn't accidentally renumber every sheet in the project when they're not intending to. It's also worth noting if you run this in Dynamo Player, it may very well do the renaming because it may ignore the frozen node, but we always send it in this state. So we'll send you that. Something else to keep in mind, this is always free and this method will always work. These are all out-of-the-box nodes, so there shouldn't even be any compatibility issues. We did also want to let you know that we do have a Parallax application that's called the Renamerer, and this does basically the same thing with the exception of it's built in a UI instead of running in Dynamo. So you can tell it for sheet renumbering, you would like to renumber the sheet number, and then you could say you would like to add in a prefix. The one difference here is there isn't a search field for only doing certain sheets, although you can do find and replace in the project browser as well. So I just wanted to let you know that that exists. It's on the Parallax website, and there is a free trial of it if you want to check it out. But the Dynamo graph will get you there, and it doesn't cost anything and has no setup time, so that could be a much easier option. One last thing I want to throw out there about the Dynamo graph is if you are doing what I was doing at the beginning of the demo, and that is you're running the graph with this node frozen just to see what the outcome is going to be, you do want to be careful. In this situation where I did this, and we generated a list of all 254 sheets with a prefix. If I then go back and say, let's find only the A7s, and let's change their prefix to 2. If I were to unfreeze this node, which would actually make the graph live and would make it run, what you need to realize is this node already has 254 entries that it's going to try to process when you hit run. We like to think of Dynamo graphs as always running in sequence, right? So it would start over and it would clear this out, but it may not actually clear it out first, and you can end up with a situation where it does your previous run and then it does this as well. So what I do in situations like that, just to make sure there isn't an issue, is once I know exactly how I want to run this, I will occasionally just disconnect the first node and hit run, which will make the whole graph error out, but now you'll see that this code block is empty. And now if I were to go back and run it again, I've got a pretty high degree of confidence that I'm only doing the sheets that I care about. So that's just something I do. But anyways, I'll upload the graph. Let us know if it doesn't run for you in any of your projects or if you have any issues. Thanks. Hope this helps.